there was a pretty substantial sell-off in the Mag 7 stocks. Now, the Mag 7 stocks are the big tech stocks like Amazon, Apple, Google, Meta. They saw a sizable step down. So people are now nervous that these companies have been going up by 20, 30, 60% per year for the last 3 or 4 years. And like, are we about to see a drop where these things are going to lose 30, 40, 50% of our value? And is what we're seeing this week the beginning. Now, based on, who knows, no one has a crystal ball, but what we've seen this week is some of those Mag 7 have reported earnings, which is one of the reasons why some of them are down. But for what reason? So let's look at Google. So Google reported earnings this week. And while they beat earnings, when companies report their quarterly earnings, they say, this is how we did for the past quarter. And essentially, this is what we expect to do for the rest of the year. Now, Google beat what they were expected to do on the previous quarter. But when they said, hey, this is how much we think we're going to make in 2026, it was a lot less than the market expected, which is why the next day Google stock went down considerably. But the reason why the Google is not expected to earn as much net profit as originally anticipated is they announced with their earnings report that they're planning to spend $185 billion on AI investment during this year, which is much higher than most analysts expected, which means if you spend more, you show less profit. But when you look at it, Google was spending around $90 billion last year. They're going to spend $185 billion just on AI investment. And most companies don't even have a market cap of $100 billion. So these big AI companies are taking a lot of their net profits in cash, and they're just plowing it back into this AI investment, which arguably over the long term, as a long-term investor in Google, could be a good thing because they already have a big lead on everyone else. Are they just trying to like one up this thing and establish a larger lead? So we're seeing that as a common theme, that when these big Mag 7 are announcing earnings and all of a sudden you see a big drop, you really have to peel back the layers and say, is it because they're underperforming, because something changed, because the price is too high, or is it because they're not producing as much cash as the market expected because they're just making additional investments in the company that could pay off in the next 3, 5, 10 years? And it seems as of right now, there seems to be a theme around these Big 10 that they're just making, or the big Mag 7, that they just seem to be plowing a lot more back into the next range of investments on data centers, on chips, on robotics, the whole 9 yards. There's a lot of investment happening, which is overall good because when you look at some of these big tech companies spending $185 billion in AI investment, that most likely means they're building data centers, they're buying chips, power. There's other investments in the market that are going to probably benefit from that capital investment. So again, whenever there's big sell-off in any big tech stocks, it's just looking at it and saying, is it rational? Is this a reason why I should sell it? Or is it another reason why, hey, this might have created a market opportunity to buy in at lower levels because the news isn't as bad as we expect? Time will tell, but that's kind of the theme of what we've seen this week.